Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's an All-You-Can-Geek Gamecast. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gast, joined by Mike Sneedy,
What's up?
Corey Feinside,
Ahoy!
and Tony Korkanakis.
Yo, yo, yo.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, listeners. Welcome, viewers. We are live right now on Twitch, Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. Do the movie cast, do the game cast. If you missed the live broadcast and you're watching us on YouTube, because all of it's over there, subscribe. We'd appreciate it. Leave us a comment, too. We'd love to hear from you guys and a like. All right, guys, Gamecast. What have we been up to? What have we been playing? I have not played anything. However, I did make a trip to GameStop. Got rid of some games. Got a game. So I do have the new Yakuza game.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
It is installed. I made the run yesterday, so I haven't gotten to play it, but I did make the run. I wanted to go all weekend, and I just couldn't get to it. And I was like, oh. So I was so bummed. And then yesterday, I almost didn't make it. I was like, I had to get my stepdaughter someplace, and I'm like, no, we are going to GameStop. I have the games in my car, and I'm getting this game. So it's pretty good. I got a good deal. I mean, Metaphor, I traded in, and I got a pretty good deal on it because I only spent I think it was like $12 after the discount from the Black Friday. They gave me 25 on trade, so
That's pretty good.
it was still fun. Yeah, it's still fun.
This is why
Yeah,
physicals
so
gotta stay around, folks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down to one game.
GameStops won't be. They won't be around to give the game back to.
I mean, they go hand in hand, right? They go hand in hand.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm like, if it's not there, I'm sure I'll be fine with digital. It's just like I bought a couple games digitally, so I do have a couple things bought, but it's
Almost
it is
all my
nice to be able
games
to
are digital.
It is nice to be able to cut that $60. This was a $60 game, I think it was, and it's nice to cut that top down, from the top of it when it first comes out, just to make it more manageable. Like I said, I got it for like $18 with my renewal. They got me to renew for another year. So
Wow. All right.
well, because it was 25 normally, but they give you $10 off if you buy a new game, and
Sure.
so I got it for $15, and I was already getting the game.
Yep.
They got me for another year. They
Make
got
sure
me
you
for
get
my
those
Game
$5
Pro.
coupons. Now you got to go and use them, and
Yep. You get
Yeah.
free booster
Well,
pack every month.
That's the problem. I never remember to use my coupons. So like I finally did here.
I
on this
got you
game.
double time then.
Yeah. So
Doubly got you.
Yeah. And funny, so like your renewals. I had cashed my points before I got there because I had like 3,000 points left. So I'm like, okay, it's $3. I'm taking the coupon because I don't think I'm renewing this. And I got in there. And he's like, you want to renew this? I'm like, no, I'm good. And then I'm looking at the sign. I'm like, do I save like $10 now from that? And he's like, yeah. I'm like,
All right.
all right. So it was $18 for the Yakuza game and the renewal. I'm like, and a little toy cat for my stepdaughter. She wanted that, so it's a pretty good deal. But we'll see about Yakuza next week. Mike, what are you up to? What are you playing?
Yeah, I have been playing that. I did get it.
What are you thinking?
Also physical, which is the first Yakuza game I got physical so far.
Oh, that's true.
Funnily enough. It's about what I expected so far. I'm 5-ish hours in.
It's like a 20-hour game, right?
It might be longer.
I heard it's not as long, but I could.
Yeah, I heard it's not as long.
Here's a
It's shorter than
typical Yakuza game.
Infinite Wealth or like a mainline one, but it's longer than Gaiden was, and I don't know how many chapters there are, but second chapter is very long. I'm still in that, and there's a lot to do in this game. Though obviously there's the whole naval thing where it's not open world, but there's like a lot of zones that are open areas you can go in between, and that's just one small aspect of the game. All of Honolulu is back from Infinite Wealth, and some of the side activities are, pretty beefy as well. So we'll see how it goes, but so far it's just a kind of wacky Majima story.
The combat is more like traditional Yakuza, right?
Yes, this is a old school brawler.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So
two fighting styles. One is brand new. One's a variation of Majima's old style. There is jumping now, which is new, and you can like launch and do air combos.
So do you still prefer the brawler stuff, or have you?
Oh yeah.
Gotcha.
No. The only thing that I liked really about the turn-based stuff is just that you have like your team and they matter more.
You have a party, right?
So yeah. But otherwise, it's about what I expected so far. We'll see how it goes. I'm not too far into the story really, but I'm still getting like a lot of introductory stuff introduced to mechanics like 5 hours in. So that's why I feel like it could be pretty long, especially if you try to do everything. So
yeah,
it's a pretty beefy game, but I think not too bad for its price. So
That's good.
Lots of fun. Otherwise, I've also still been playing Marvel Rivals. The Thing and Human Torch came out this week, and a new
Fuck 'em both. Fuck them both.
and a new map. And the Thing is pretty good. He's pretty good. He's a Vanguard, which the game needs more fun Vanguards because no one ever wants
Yes,
to
I
play
will
them.
say the one good thing is people are actually taking him. So I'm like, oh shit, I get a chance to DPS. Like, oh my god.
And he's immune to like movement
effects,
abilities, so he can't get lunged by Wolverine or pulled by Spider-Man or pushed by Invisible Woman.
Yeah.
But he's pretty good, although he doesn't. His own movement is pretty limited. And then Human Torch, he has a lot of damage potential, but it doesn't seem like anyone's good with him yet. You see a lot of like people trying to be him and failing miserably so far. He's another flyer, so he's just kind of floating there up in the sky, waiting for people to kill him. But he's got some cool abilities where he like does like area of effect damage on the ground, and he can like slam into it or link them and make a whole area be constant damage over time. But people aren't good with him yet, so so far he looks pretty bad. But I'm sure he'll be good soon, but not right now.
Okay. All right.
Have you tried those, Tony, at all? No. Have you played them?
Oh, Tony sounded like he was upset with him.
Yeah.
I've tried both of them a little, but I a little more success with Thing than Human Torch, obviously, as you could tell.
I haven't tried it myself just because it's a battle in quick play. Like it's literally like, oh, people just and that's fine because I'm like, you know what? Now I can DPS. Now I can heal, get my healer because like people were aggressively picking Invisible Woman because she was the new character, along with Mr. Fantastic. But it's fine. I had a lot of quests to get done anyway and stuff like that because I hit whatever the gold rank to get the skin. I stopped caring about ranked and I was like, yep, I'm fine. I just need to log in and do my dailies and every couple of days because you can stock them up, which is nice. I don't feel like I have to log in every single day.
Cool. All right,
and
Tony,
they have the new conversion now too, which is good for this new patch, where you can actually convert the battle pass credits to their general credits at a 1-to-10 ratio. But
that's good.
They didn't have that before, so that's pretty good.
People were upset about that. And there was an outage, I think, yesterday for a couple hours, and today they're like, oh, if you log in, you're gonna get 200 credits.
Whatever's
currency. And I was like, oh my god, like look at that. Like,
and they're not bad, at least to us.
Yeah. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a moment, a couple of minutes here.
Tony, what else have you been playing?
So I don't know if this was planned or this just happened to be a double whammy coincidence, but both Marvel Rivals and Fortnite updated the same weekend. So played a little bit of both. Just talked about Rivals, so I'll just talk about Fortnite. It's really interesting because this is the first time I've been with a chapter, which is a year-long thing, and season 2. So it's really interesting seeing the maps get kind of fucked up and like parts change. They redo a lot of the weapons and stuff. So all of a sudden it's like, even though like maybe 70% of the map is the same, the weapon pool again is like probably 70% the same and like 30% new. And two of the new things, one is like a baseball bat, which allows you to run faster, jump higher, and you could do this like charge up, swing a bat, and you just launch a dude. You just launch whoever. And I have had so much fun just like waiting on a hill or a mountain and just like see somebody run by and just like boop, and it's just like kind of like Halo where you just like see somebody and they're like no, and it's just like they just die and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the other weapon unique to this season is Sub-Zero, his gauntlets. So when you equip them, you get his like if his left click is like a combo where like he like punch kicks and then slams down with his ice axe. It does whatever damage, but if you right click, he gets this like this ice slide kick, whatever that knocks him back as well. So that's pretty interesting. I feel the damage is a little underutilized, but it's kind of fun just seeing people zip around the map like that. So both of those games are interesting, but this weekend is the big AAA Monster Hunter Wilds, which I think pre-install should start tomorrow or something. So I'll be getting that. We'll have hopefully a lot to talk about because it feels like I have a lot of friends that are getting it this weekend.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, I pre-ordered it, so
there we go. There we go.
Oh no, hold on. Are we gonna get you to play?
That's the question. We'll find out.
Are we gonna get you to play? Because I
we'll
remember
see.
you saying, get on Helldivers too. And I'm like, all right. We played like twice. And I never saw you again.
It's
Yeah, man.
not untrue.
All right, Corey.
Yeah,
Anything?
no, I'm excited for Monster Hunter, but I have been playing a couple of little things. My buddies, that I used to play a lot of board games with, but they haven't been able to play with us because we just circumstance of life, and so we try to stay connected and play some video games here and there. And we usually do some lighter stuff like roguelites and things like that. The one that's been on the radar this go around has been Heroes of Hammerwatch 2, which is like the pixelated old school art style. And it's a roguelite, but it's fantasy based. You pick a class like a paladin, a ranger, wizard, or whatever. And you just go through and beat a bunch of enemies and
Loot.
loot, and then you can build up your base and then go do it again. What's neat is that if you die, you have your whole team's health. So like anytime somebody dies, every player's health gets halved, and then just keeps doing that each time someone dies. And so it's like as a team, you're like, just don't die. Like you're killing us. Literally, you're killing us. You're ruining this run.
Yeah.
So that's been interesting. It's been fun. And it's a cheap game, so
Yeah.
it works well on Steam Deck and everything. And then there has been another one that I tried with some of the Star Wars players, like the Star Wars card game I play. I did a bunch of that actually because there was a big tournament over the weekend. But one of the guys who's really good at that game, it's like, oh, we gotta play this game called Supervive. And I was like, oh, I heard of that one. It's basically a isometric viewpoint hero shooter battle royale game. So it's like you're in a squad of 4, you can do duos, but it's basically like League of Legends like style gameplay where you have creeps on the map, and then you're trying, and then the arena is getting smaller, battle royale style, and you're eliminating each other and trying to win in that sense. Like battle royale meets a hero shooter style thing, and it's interesting, very cartoony looking. I would say for free to play, it's fine. I haven't really gotten to it too much, but it seems like it's got something there at least. I could see that this style of game becoming a little more popular as we've seen with other types of pulling from other types of genres and mixing them together. So we'll see.
We will see. I don't know, man. Just the market these days. Anything
Yeah,
can
it's
be
tough.
sold.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about another one that probably can try to like, hey, Marvel Rivals, we're gonna join that ship bandwagon. Let's go.
Yeah. Marvel Rivals has a bunch of stuff. Well, maybe. James Gunn is talking about things in the news.
Of course, that's what he does.
He does.
Talks.
So
Talks.
saying they're open to making a DC equivalent of
Oh,
Marvel Rivals.
really? You are really? You see people making money. Interesting.
It's like, yeah, we're open to making money. Wow.
That's so
Wow.
unhelpful because now it's
Well,
in people's heads, and it would be so far away.
Yeah,
And also,
5 years away. 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
If you wanted to be
That's why I
good.
said-
you can't.
If you wanted to be good.
That's why I said why not just do Marvel Rivals collaboration and do a DC versus Marvel in that game? Like why not do something like that?
Because
I don't know if
WB's
everyone
not going to pay
involved
up.
is going to go with that.
Marvel's not going to be like,
It's so
do this.
funny, but like, well, funny. It's like WB is they look at somebody making a lot of money. It's like, oh, we should do that, and then like try to do it and do it a lot worse. Or they look at say, hey, we have this property that's successful. We'll just ignore it because we need to worry about this. We'll just do some other thing instead. But like, it's like they keep chasing when they can just
Right. They act
build on
like
what they've already had.
Right. They don't act like a market leader when they could be.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
absolutely.
they had MOBA back in the day. Remember when we were in
Yeah.
PAX? They had a fucking MOBA, and
I know, that's what I'm saying. They had stuff already.
Yeah,
they
they
already
had-
had things that they could build on, but
They had-
they're just like, oh wait, we can't do this anymore because this other thing is making
And
this money here.
and then they had like what Gotham City Imposters or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, that was weird.
Oh, we'll
was-
talk
that
about
was weird.
Monolith. We'll
You know
we'll
what-
talk
you know
about
what
them
I-
later.
I didn't even know that was them. I feel even worse now. Oh man. But yeah, I mean
Yeah,
that's the thing.
no.
Why would you say this? Because like Mike said, first of all, you're getting shit into people's head. It's like, oh yeah, DC Rivals. Oh, I can't wait for that. Okay,
Mhm.
well wait 5 years, motherfucker. Unless you want it to be bad, then you get it in like 2 to 3, right?
Yeah.
Who's going to want to do that? And plus, again, every time you're late to the market, you have to be exceptional. You have to beat all the others out in something they're not doing. Rivals was one of the few games that actually surpassed what the leader, Overwatch, was doing and stole their thunder. Do you think you're going to do that by copycatting a copycat? Good luck. Good luck.
And it took a bit of a bit of a fall from grace for Overwatch to open, I think, the opportunity.
Right, absolutely. It wasn't just their own thing. It was like
a combination of
right. It was a combination of factors, the perfect storm of things. Like if Overwatch was still strong, if Overwatch was still in the minds, like Marvel Rivals probably would not have taken off as well as it did. But people were just done with Overwatch, and I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Right? Again,
they wanted something. Yeah, they wanted Overwatch to be good. I wanted Overwatch to be good, and then it kept failing for us. And then Marvel Rivals comes around. It's free to play to start, and you get all the characters right away. It's like, oh hey, I know these characters. I'm excited to see how their powers work in the game like this, and yeah.
It's and like, every step of the way, sorry, Mike, real quick. Every step of the way, all those decisions, they had thought differently. Like they were going to charge for characters where you had to pay or earn them, and they listened to fan feedback. They're like, okay, we'll just give it all to you for free. Like every step of the way, they were listening to their fans, which is like totally crazy because you don't see it happen that often or that quickly, right? In terms of like, okay, you guys like this, we'll do this, or you guys don't like that, we're gonna take that back.
Right. No, and I think it just also capitalized on the lapsed Overwatch player, where you would like to play an Overwatch again, but you don't want to play Overwatch again. So this is Overwatch, but not Overwatch, which is a reason why I just don't see, unless Marvel Rivals really falters, I don't see the space for a DC version. I think they should, if they want to do something, they should make it quite different. Like I would do like the Arkham Origins online thing they had attached to Arkham Origins, like scale that bigger. So that no one even remembers that, but that was like a 3-team thing.
But yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that like
The other thing though is like because Suicide Squad just came out and failed so badly.
Oh, God, yeah.
No matter what James Gunn says, right? Like he's in charge of DC. Is it all DC, right? Or is it
DC and
no one.
DC Media, whatever it is.
In charge
but the thing is, he doesn't go all the way up to Zaz. Like that is above WB Games. Like that's above him. Or it's not in his lane. Yeah. Like he can't just be like, yeah, we'll make a Marvel Rivals, sure. Like that's Kevin Feige saying that shit. Like even Kevin Feige can't say that, right? Like
yeah. No, it reminds me a little bit of like the Netflix executives like having very little idea about how long and hard it is to make a AAA game. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Other news from James Gunn had talks with NetherRealm and Rocksteady. We did report another piece of this with Batman Beyond rumors possibly happening at Rocksteady Studios. Do we think, first of all, the Batman Beyond thing is more realistic now? And even then, how far out?
You're welcome.
Yes, we had that. We talked about it, I think, last week. Did we not?
We did.
Almost like we had for Psychic. And then Mike has been talking about Injustice 3 forever, so he's right. Maybe.
I don't know at this point. I don't think him saying this means anything.
It's just
I do think
fluff. It's fluff.
I do think that they're looking at, listen, Injustice 3 is a game I do think is going to get made anyways. I do think it is. And I do think Rocksteady is working on another Batman game. We already know that. Batman Beyond makes sense because we talked about it last week. It makes the most sense. So I feel like James Gunn saying this is just because like they're already working on these games. Yeah, I had conversations with him about that stuff already, is what he's saying essentially. I think they were already working on this stuff.
It also feels like, hey, Marvel's getting all this attention. Let's get some attention back on DC. I'm going to say some random things that might not matter, but who cares? Because it doesn't matter anyway.
I think it was already being done, so he just said it, just to get some hype. That's what I agree. Yeah. I agree with you.
Oh, they're in pre-dev. Yeah, I talked to them about it.
Yep. Like, cool. Somebody had an idea and said something to someone else.
There's a sticky note on a whiteboard somewhere, like cool.
I do think Injustice 3's
You made a game before with Batman in it, right? Yeah.
I think Injustice 3 is actually a lot closer than you guys think.
I don't know. I don't know. NetherRealm after
I think that's what they're working on.
Mortal Kombat 1.
I mean, we're going to talk about, but WB's
still supporting it.
Well, I'm just saying WB does not really care about their studios for right now, so
Yeah,
who knows what happens to some of those studios and where they go next and what their
Well,
next projects are. And we've talked about why maybe Injustice hasn't happened is because maybe that dev is not going to be long for WB
no, that's the thing,
anymore.
we don't know. And
I mean,
NetEase, what's that?
I don't know. I don't really think that they listed, NetherRealm and like the Mortal Kombat and DC stuff as the stuff they wanted to focus on going forward. I just
Yeah, but the
think that
shopping.
Yeah,
Go on.
maybe.
You just think what?
no, I think they did 2 Mortal Kombats in a row because that felt like a shorter thing, and that's
Sure, but
why.
there wasn't. I think that because of the Mortal Kombat flop, not flop, but failure,
Well,
clearly.
I mean, it's a failure to
Nobody's playing these
fans.
games like Mortal Kombat anymore.
Mhm.
It's like,
it's
That's why I
downward
do think
trending.
Injustice is next. Yeah, I do think Injustice is next. I do.
Well, I think
Now
they should do that.
Warner Brothers itself is trying to sell these studios like crazy. We've already reported on that many times before. We got this NetEase news to talk about too. Like, there's a lot of conversations about studios being sold in the news this week. But so NetEase is looking to selling basically anything that's not like local to them. Any of their bought companies,
Well,
I
hold
think
on.
they're looking at.
Did we?
I don't know that, right?
We didn't talk about the Marvel Rivals
Did I
American
skip that?
layoff, right? Last week.
we
Oh
talked about
no, I
last
did
week.
skip that.
We
I'm
did?
sure
Was
if
that,
that was last
did we
week
talk
or
about that
not.
last week?
I don't remember, but
Yeah, we did
there
talk
was a
about it
little
last
bit.
week. We talked about it last
We
week.
might have. I
Absolutely,
know,
we
but
did.
we didn't. I don't think
Absolutely, we
we
did.
really
We
got
didn't
the
understand the scope.
clarification that
Yeah.
We didn't have all the
it was
information yet, so you want to talk
right.
about that first?
So
Let's go through that first before we go to
yeah,
NetEase. Then
so the stories were a little misleading last week. They said, oh, lead a lead was fired from was laid off from NetEase who worked on Marvel Rivals. Turns out it was a 6-person team in America. Now it's still weird considering the success of the game, but it wasn't quite as
It
this
wasn't
big, surprising, scary thing as
right,
we thought it was.
and that's games journalism where I'm like, oh, okay, like it doesn't sound as I heard 12, but we'll just use 6 to 12, right?
I don't
We'll
know.
split the difference. We'll just say 10,
Yeah.
right? It's like, oh, 10 employees laid off at the Marvel Rivals American studio. It doesn't sound sexy enough. We got to say Marvel Rivals lays off American studio. It's like, why do you have to do that? Like, it's bad news either way, right? But one of
Yeah.
them, you're being sensationalist and clickbaity, and one of them is like you're just
Yeah.
reporting the truth and stuff like that. So that's where I'm like, fuck you, game journalists, do better, like whatever. And again, it's terrible that they're laying anybody off, right? I'm not going to defend.
It doesn't
layoffs.
make. It's not good. It
Right.
doesn't make sense, but
Right, and
like,
it doesn't make
they're-
sense. It doesn't.
They clearly just want to not be everywhere, I guess, anymore.
Right. Well, that was the preview for this newer news.
that's
which we'll get
what's
into.
happening here with this NetEase thing. They're planning to cut a lot of their studios. They're trying to sell off a lot of their any of the foreign studios they own. It looks any of them. It sounds like that's what they're trying to move essentially. Sell those studios away.
Any foreign studios.
Foreign. I said foreign.
I know. I just wanted to make sure that that's reiterated because that is a clear delineation that I think is important, and I want to talk about it a little bit, right?
But they were the ones that reached out and acquired all these.
No,
studios.
absolutely.
Like, that's crazy.
Absolutely, 100%. But here's the thing. Here's what I think happened. Because the back-to-back success of Wukong and Marvel Rivals, which are developed entirely by Chinese studios,
Yeah.
I think they said, "Why are we paying for foreign talent? We already have it here." Right?
Yeah.
And this
Could be.
ties in to how all these studios for years now have been using, outsourcing people to like generate like, hey, models, CGI sequences, whatever. It's like we're just outsourcing this all to these Chinese companies are doing it. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But the thing is, you're paying other companies to train up their employees on how to make world-class AAA games, right? Whether it's models, whether it's levels, whether it's game design, like you're literally paying another company to build their talent pool up, right?
Yeah.
And I think this is the turning point in the game industry where now Chinese developers are being like, we can do this now, right?
Yeah.
Like Wukong sold what, 13 million copies already, 14 million.
Oh yeah.
And I think they said 30 to 40% was internationally. So if they could replicate that again, in a year or two or whatever, like that's awesome for them, right? So I think they got scared or just wary of the international market, which you look how the American industry is doing. You look at Japan, where Sony has seeded pretty much competition. They've raised the price of the PlayStation 5 twice this generation. I just don't. I don't think they see that market as being viable anymore. Especially in terms of a console platform owner, right? Again, I talk about it a lot, and I'm not trying to do the whole PC master race thing, but like PC is definitely a growing market in China, right? Because they have like computer cafes, internet cafes, gaming cafe, whatever you want to classify it as. Where it's like you just log into your Steam account and you can. These games are already installed. You just need to log into your Steam account and you fucking play it, right? And that's for them that works, right? Because they live in these mega cities, right? Whereas here in America, everybody owns their own system. They live in their own house or apartment or whatever and stuff. So I just think I got to look at a macro level of all these factors, and you're like, holy shit, this makes sense now, right?
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because this is Embracer Group 2.0, right? Because we just went out the past 2 years of Embracer Group after years of acquiring this studio, this studio, this studio, this studio. It's like, with what money and when are you making that back, right? We all asked that. Like, how are you making this money back? Never did.
No, it makes sense. And then, I think you cracked the case. I mean, I think you saw the success of their internal franchises. Basically, the Chinese developed games, and they're like, why are we paying worldwide what we could just do it here for cheaper?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's it.
Right, and because a part of this too is, I think it was in the linked article, but they told the Japanese studios that they owned, and one of those being that former Yakuza boss creator, Nagashi.
That's right. I forgot to put it in there. Yeah.
There's no additional time. There's no additional budget. Deliver what you have, right? And that is sobering. Like, that is holy shit. We don't even. That's the point where like we don't give a fuck. Just release whatever you have. That's awful because they hired a lot of Japanese talent.
Yeah.
And I feel like, especially for Nagashi, like, can you like I don't know. I don't think he would personally go back to Sega and be like, hey guys.
Yeah.
Can I make Yakuza again?
He might.
I just don't. I don't see that happening, man. I don't see that happening.
I read somewhere that there was a little bit of bad blood when he left for some reason. So
well, he took talent with him. Absolutely, he took talent with him. That's how this always happens. You take the talent with you, right? You take your right hand, left hand men and women to go get Chinese paychecks. And Sega's like, well, all right, we'll make do, right? We're gonna probably hire some Chinese studios to help fill in the gaps, right?
Yeah.
But good luck. Good luck. You think it was all you?
I feel like this might end up in a sub story somewhere in one of these games.
It might. That would be pretty funny, actually. But it's just terrible all around. It's bad for the industry.
It is.
It sucks, man. And, there's the bad news. It's not even just that, right? It's not even just that. Just today, we had even more bad news about the industry.
Which was
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers.
I sent somebody up. I was waiting for somebody.
Sorry, I thought you were gonna run into it. So
no, you're good.
Yeah, so they're shutting down Monolith Productions, Player First Games, Warner Brothers San Diego, canceling the Wonder Woman game.
Yeah. Monolith is the one that I know. I don't know the other two, but Monolith, they've done a lot. Like they did the Fear games.
Yes.
They did
been
Condemned.
Around for a long time.
Yeah,
30,
they did
years, something like that. 30 years.
Yeah, and most recently they did the Lord of the Rings, Shadows of Mordor, or whatever they are, right? So they've been around for a while, and they were kind of one of the big studios that Warner Brothers had. Like they counted on them to bring in the.
They were a backbone, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, game studios are going to now focus from Warner Brothers only on Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, DC stuff, and Game of Thrones. Everything else is stopped. That's it. And Wonder Woman still stopped too.
Yeah, Wonder Woman is a DC thing, last I heard, but
that's why I clarified. It's still done. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we heard like a week or two ago that it was in trouble because they had to reboot everything. But yeah, now it's gone, and it's a shame because Wonder Woman doesn't really have too much game representation. Her biggest role might be in Injustice, where she's bad. She's like a bad guy in that game.
She is in Fortnite.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Monolith was Shadows of Mordor,
and a
right?
character
But also in the Smash Brothers game.
Yeah, multiverses or whatever.
Multiverses, yeah.
Yes, which is also dead
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. So why has Warner Brothers not thought about licensing out their Nemesis system? Like, let
Maybe they
other
will.
studios.
Maybe
They
they will
trademarked it.
now.
They trademarked it.
They
Like,
patented it.
you can make money on this thing.
Yeah, they could. They
They
could.
patented it. I'm sorry, they patented it. They patented it. Yes.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. That's the correct term.
Well,
Why aren't you licensing that out for other people to use? Because it's a great idea. It's an awesome idea.
Because
Maybe they tried and nobody cared.
right? Well, it's
Great
because
idea. Though.
right. So it's not only Zaslav, right? And I forget if I posted in the Discord or not. This happened during work hours, so I might have been doing something. But Jesus Schreier came out with a tweet saying, just a note, this is a culmination of a lot of mistakes that Warner Brothers Games has done longer than Zaslav has been there. And I forget who the guy, that the head of WB Games is, but he was basically indicating, like, this guy fucking sucks, and you should lump him in that thing. And it's just, you just look at the line of stupid mistakes and bad calls and the terrible outcomes, right? Because the first two you could be like, you make an educated guess, but nothing's guaranteed. When you look at the outcome and it's just failure after failure after failure, you're just like, what? Like, it seems like the only successes are random luck, right? Like, that Harry Potter game seemed like, oh, well, okay, I proved that, so cool. But that was, outsourced to EA, right? EA did that.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you do?
It was EA.
What do you do?
and otherwise, like 10 years ago, they had a lot good going on, and they've pretty much squandered it in the last decade.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just bad leadership. Absolutely. So. Yeah, I mean, it's not good. Not good. The industry, we talked about it many times, not great.
Only in February. February.
It's only February.
Nope.
All right, let's end on a better note. Among Us 3D.
Fable.
How about that?
Fable.
Was that? Well, no. Fable is not a good note. I don't care. It never existed.
So, right. Well, we want to talk about the bad note before we
it never existed, huh, Jim?
Fable.
No.
Yeah, Fable has been delayed as well.
Fable was
to
a
2026. Yeah, Fable's been delayed to 2026 as well. Sorry, everybody.
Weren't you really sure of that coming out this year?
Did anyone?
God,
Did anyone?
That game doesn't exist
predict
as much
this?
as Beyond Good and Evil exists. Go on.
Did any one of us predict that this would happen?
No, I wanted to come out.
I thought Jim said.
I think
thought
Jim
one of his predictions was that it was coming
gonna
out
be-
this year.
It's coming this year. I believe I have that. We'll go back and we'll see, but we'll laugh about it in January. But
So I even said, I was like, dude, we still haven't had like, I'm pretty sure I said we don't even have gameplay footage still. Like, I just don't see how you come out in the year that you haven't.
It might get canceled at this point. It might get canceled.
Well, no, that's exactly my point.
Why would they continue on with this thing?
I don't see it getting canceled, but we're not getting.
It's definitely not going to be exclusive. That's
no, 100% with the cost. That's their sell point for not canceling it. Is hey, we're going to release this on every console.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
100%.
We'll make the money back because we're going to sell it.
If we release on PlayStation 5 and PC, we'll be okay.
The numbers will be up. Yeah, that's what they're going to say. We'll sell this many more units, so it's worth the delay. Yeah.
But like,
it's still it's crazy because we talked about like no more like with the Japanese and the Chinese studios, like you're not getting anything extra. It's like, why not just be like, hey guys, this is it. You have to get this game out at this point and screw it. Like we can either just can you guys now or just put the game out as is. Because how long have they been working on this? It's like 5-6 years.
At least 5 or 6 years. But that's the thing, right? We just go back to studio management from Phil Spencer to what the fuck's their name? The president.
They still have that contract clause, right? Where it's 2 years max, right?
18 months.
They still have that.
But like Sarah Bond, is it right? I think that's her name.
She's one of them.
And you have whoever the fuck his name is too. Like you have these people that are just completely incompetent.
Adam something.
Yeah. Like
I feel like it's an Adam something.
Like again, like what was that fucking vampire game? God, it was so bad.
Yeah.
You played it.
Yeah, I know I played it. It was bad.
Redfall.
Right, Redfall. Like you look at that and it's just like, how did you let this get released in this in this state?
Dude, I mean that's the thing. Like now though, it's just like release the stuff, whatever, get it out there, and who cares? It's done. Your studio's closing anyway. It's like you can either spend the next decade on the same game that hasn't come out yet, or you can just put it out and then close anyway. It's like,
well, listen, it's delayed to 2026, not 2030.
Yeah, well, it was
for now.
That's what exactly. We have no idea, Mike.
Well, I think
it's not out until it's out.
This could be the cyberpunk effect where we heard about it well before it was actually developed in earnest, and it might have been just like a few years ago they started.
Or
For
restarted.
real. Yeah.
I mean, this
I'm
game
sure
has
that
been
happened
in
with Outer Worlds
production. Like, I felt like there was a Fable thing way back too that they
It
were
was before
talking about.
the current Xbox even launched. I know that.
Yeah, there was like a. It seemed like a tower defense thing or something too, or
Yeah.
some stupid
Yeah,
thing.
they canceled that one. I forgot. I fucking forgot about that one. Oh man. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. I don't know. If you're an Xbox fan, I feel sorry for you, but what are you doing to yourself?
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
It's
I'm a
not
fan,
Xbox
but I don't own a
anymore.
system anymore. I'm just gonna play it wherever I can play it.
That's an Xbox, and that's an Xbox. So
Yeah, I'm a fan.
everything's an Xbox.
Can't wait for Fable in 2028. So
Mm-hmm.
mm,
We know.
the
on my
sequel.
PS6.
Right next to Perfect Dark, right?
Yeah, right.
I
Oh
mean,
God, that's right. That
Avowed did
exists.
come
That
out
exists,
though,
doesn't
right?
it?
So
Yeah.
Hmm?
Avowed
Avowed
did come out.
was.
Avowed
Yeah.
came out, and depending on who you ask, it's okay.
Yeah,
I
it's
heard
okay.
it's fun. I heard it's fun. It's just very basic.
It's funny actually. It sounds like the opposite of Outer Worlds, where the gameplay and the like open world is very good, but the story and the writing is pretty boring.
Yeah.
Mm.
Which sounds like the total opposite of the Last
Gotta
Obsidian
gotta
thing.
merge them now.
Interesting.
Just gotta find that
Balance.
sweet spot.
Yeah.
I might play it after 2 other games are
Mm-hmm.
done. Your priority
Well,
games.
what's the good news, Jim? I'm gonna end
Good
on
news.
a good
Among Us
note.
3. Among Us 3. Among Us 3D. Sorry. Among Us 3D. I almost botched the whole headline. So the party game that we all loved, Among Us, has gone 3D. Experience core Among Us gameplay you know and love. Now in an extremely immersive 3D environment where everything is close up and personal. Grab a crew of 4 to 10 players and launch fully 3D version. So awesome of them to do this.
It's neat.
Kind of revamps the game, right? For them, it's like a remaster almost.
So
Of their
apparently
game.
this is the Among Us VR, which was
Yeah.
exclusively for a VR
Yeah.
thing.
They adapted it.
But they adapted it to just be like, hey, it's its own thing, which I think is cool because like Among Us, I think being in first person now like kind of changes up the gameplay because before it's like, oh, you have a radius of vision,
Right.
right? But like if you're like doing a task and you can't see behind you and somebody gets murdered, then it's like, oh, well, who was there, right? Because like you're facing front, you can't check behind you and stuff. So I'm excited, personally. I love Among Us.
Changes the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
I
neat
think it's
way
good.
to experience it again if you've fallen off of it and haven't played in a while. And they keep adding to this game, so it's still going strong, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, ongoing support again.
Mhm.
Up for game was it ongoing support of the year for
Ongoing
Jeff
game.
Keighley's ongoing game, best ongoing game. Up for that.
Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, I mean it's up against
So
that, so we'll see.
It's 100%
But,
but,
Yeah, I know. But yep. All right. On that note, I think we're done. So we'll wrap up this Gamecast, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, we are live Twitch Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. We do the Gamecast, the movie cast beforehand. If you miss any of these live broadcasts, though, YouTube's got all the content. So make sure you subscribe. If you're watching us, give us a subscribe. We appreciate that. And comments, likes. We see you guys next week. We are out.